Working with Parents to Support Children's Learning, and this is a useful tool to help us to consider how we can develop literacy and numeracy learning at home. I've pulled out some information from the 4 recommendations. The first reminds us that it's important that teachers and leaders are able to target their efforts towards approaches that are most likely to have a positive impact. We should focus on the skills that we want children to develop at different ages, using research to help you to identify strategies which could be effective. Evidence suggests that there can be benefits, but also some challenges, so taking time to carefully review, plan and monitor is important. The second recommendation tells us we should offer parents support that's practical, focusing on clear guidance that they can act on. Many parents lack confidence in their ability to support their children's learning, and so simple strategies are more likely to be adopted. For example, small prompts for shared reading are actionable and don't require too much specific expertise. The third recommendation is about taking a flexible approach to communication that can be adapted to a broad range of home and family circumstances. Consider using different mediums of communication to ensure all parents and carers in the community can access information coming from the school. The fourth recommendation asks us to look at more sustained and intensive approaches to support parental engagement. For example, those struggling with early reading. We should target support sensitively to avoid stigmatising, blaming or discouraging parents. Planning group-based sessions for parents can be effective for a range of outcomes. I've also included a few links to other Education Endowment Foundation resources. The first one is Supporting Parents and Carers at Home, What Schools Can Do to Help, and this gives practical advice about communication and support with learning. The second one is Communicating Effectively with Families, a guide for schools, and it provides tips and examples for communication with families, including a focus on supporting literacy and numeracy at home. So I've highlighted the section on providing practical strategies at home, which focus on literacy. In terms of early language and literacy, promoting shared reading should be at the centre of working with parents as a way of supporting oral language development and early literacy. Helping parents to read in a more interactive way and prompting longer and more frequent conversations with their children are particularly important. The parent-to-child interactions that take place during shared reading are thought to be the key ingredient to their success. As children get older, it becomes important for parents to listen to their children read. The strategy of pause, prompt, praise may help parents when listening to children read. Pausing to help them to work out the words if they get stuck, providing a prompt or a clue to help, but of course not giving the answer, and praising them when they concentrate and problem solve. Engaging in high quality talk about the story remains important for fostering reading comprehension skills. Book gifting is unlikely to be effective on its own, but providing more structured support ideas and activities can be effective. Education Scotland work closely with Scottish Book Trust to create a range of resources for parents to use with the Read, Write, Count bags. I also wanted to mention summer reading, as there can be a decline in children's reading development during summer holiday times, particularly for children from low-income families. Considering how children can be encouraged to read at home over the summer could be a worthwhile strategy to offset this. I've also included a link to the Education Endowment Foundation page, which features support resources for schools to share with parents, and these are provided in a variety of languages. On the next slide, I've provided some useful links for supporting literacy at home. And at the bottom there, I've got a section on supporting adult literacy, which can be really helpful for us to consider when we're working with families.